Absolute Duelist here, coming at you with another One Piece video. And in today's One Piece video, I have for you a deck profile. It's been a while since I've done one, and I managed to come first up my locals with my favorite leader, Trafalgar. And I wanted to showcase you what I'm currently doing with the deck in OP05 because it has been a while since I've uploaded a deck profile of any kind in One Piece, and Trafalgar Law is obviously one of my favorite decks. It's the decks that I try to max as much as I possibly can in terms of rarity, and I really wanted to showcase to you guys today what I'm currently working on with it, how it looks, and give you guys just a new Trafalgar Law list to give you something to try yourselves, guys. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You obviously know what Trafalgar Law does. If you have 5 characters on the board, you can return 1 character to your hand and play a character for cost 5 or less with a different color. So that's pretty much him. He is very, very good and generally one of the best leaders in the game. Like, he was best from literally OP01 all the way to OP04 in my opinion. Some people would say it's Whitebeard, but you know, I'm a lore player, so I gotta say it's lore. But yeah, one of my favorite leaders of all time, character-wise, favorite character as well. So let's go ahead and get into the deck profile to show you guys what we're currently playing in our Trafalgar Law list. So pretty much standard, we're playing all the generic searches. We're playing the 4 Nami, look at top 5 cards, add a Straw Hat Pirate card to your hand, 4 Bonnie, 1 Don to play, and then you can also pay 1 Don / rest her to search any supernova from the top 5 cards of your deck to your hand. This one, we are obviously playing the championship version. I managed to pick these up while I was at the finals in Germany, or sorry, no, Netherlands, which is really, really cool to just have these as well. And then for Dadan, because Dadan is obviously staple, look at the top 5 cards and add any 1 cost red card from the top 5 to your hand, so you can get to 5 characters as soon as possible. So generally you pay 4 of each of these no matter what. They're standard, they're mandatory, you're going to be playing 4 no matter what. So we play 4 of each of those. Next, for like new things that I'm kind of put into the deck since OP04, we are playing 2 Nico Robin. For those who don't know what this card does, it's on play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 1k power or less. Now, the whole logic behind playing this is for essentially against your worst matchup, Sakazuki. You want to be able to play this card so you can get rid of Rebecca. It can also have sly uses when you have like multiple Otamas in hand to get rid of a 5k character and then shambles away the double Otamas and play the 5 cost Law and then return it and then play something higher, which is kind of nice. But generally you're going to be killing something like Rebecca, low costing blockers, like you're going to be killing stuff like that. But she's just a 1 cost that we can also put on the board and boost to something like Makino as well, which is really, really nice. Next, for the blockers that are low costing to play, we're obviously playing the 4 Chopper, which is standard. Like, Chopper is just one of the best blockers in the game, being a 1-drop that you can search with Nami and then just block any incoming attack, which is really nice. And to go along with him, we also play 2 Capone, because he is essentially the green variant of Chopper, but he can only be searched via literally Bonnie, so we only need to play 2 of him. So we only play 2 of him. We play 6 really low costing blockers as well, because I feel like we've already got so many blockers in terms of the 6 cost blocker and also the Choppers that we're running enough to justify only playing 2 of him now. And we are also playing other cards to kind of compensate for that right now too. For 2k counters, we're playing the free Makino. This is kind of standard in my opinion. I think you can go up to 4 if you really, really want. But in my personal opinion, you only really need to be playing 3 of this card, because 4 is nice, but you're not always going to have a Robin or a Nami on the board to boost to go ahead and get the additional swing. So it's fine if you're playing 3 of it. And also we are playing a lot of other 2Ks as well, so it's justified on the number that we play of this anyway. Next, we are playing the 4 Otama. Otama is obviously one of the best 2k counters that you can be playing in this deck, just for the fact that on play, she decreases any character your opponent controls by 2k power. So this can be 6k blockers, this can be characters that are rested. Like, it can allow you to do a lot of different things, such as if you're up against 5k leaders, you can decrease their 6k blockers, so you can swing 5s into them, and means that they have to discard more counter, they can't just block for free, which is really, really nice. And it's insanely strong in this deck just because she's a 1 cost that you can play for free, and also you can recycle her with your leader ability, so you get multiple uses out of her, which just makes her very, very strong. And her being a 2k on top of that is very nice as well. And then next we play the Brooks. We have the 4 championship ones of these as well. I was very happy to get a playset of these too, because they just look very, very nice. Much better than the winners in my personal opinion with the background. But we obviously play 4 of him as well. He's also a 2k counter, but he has additional purposes as well, where on play you can go ahead and attach 2 Don to say on your leader or another character. So you can go ahead and play the Brook, attach 2 Don onto like a Dan to give you an additional swing, attach 2 onto the Lord to go ahead and give you a bigger swing, and he also just generally gives you the ability to make 2 Don still usable when you're trying to get to those 5 characters on your board. Because say you want to get a big swing in to remove a character, but you need that 1 additional Don to be able to get that big swing while also being able to shamble still. Brook just allows that, which is very, very nice, and he's a 3k power as well, so you can theoretically just go ahead and play him, leave him on the board, and then next turn put 2 Don on him to swing for 5 again, which is very, very good and very, very strong in my personal opinion. So that's like all of the 2Ks and low costing characters we play. Like this is like the general stuff that you have to play in the deck because it's all mandatory. The surges, the 2Ks, the blockers, like this is the stuff that's going to allow you to get to your big character plays very easily, because you need to play a ton of low costing characters to get your board to 5 as soon as possible, to play like your 5 cost lords for free, to play your Luffy's for free, to play like all of these very big characters that you do normally play that are 5 cost or less. So we play all of that. Going on to other cards though, which are a little higher cost and basically for your combo plays or for your advancement plays or just anything along those lines, we're playing 4 Zoro. Originally we were playing 3 Zoro. Like I kind of changed it up to 4 because with Sakazuki around and with all of these other decks that you do need to kind of be careful with, because Zoro essentially, he's a very strong card. He's a very good card in the fact that he's just a free cost that you can play, rush, and then return to hand with shambles to go ahead and play him again with like the 5 cost blocker lore, which is very, very nice. But the reason why we've gone from 3 to 4 is purely because Sakazuki exists and he is Trafalgar Lore's worst matchup. So you need to be playing a lot more rush and a lot more aggression to what you used to play, so essentially guarantee that you can kill your opponent as soon as possible. So when it comes down to Sakazuki, you need to be playing 4 of him now, but just so you can guarantee the swing goes in, get the damage, get the wins. So it's essentially just easier for you to win, because Sakazuki, if that game goes on too long, they're going to get to a point where they have too many cards in hand, or they just have a board where they're going to keep clearing your things, and it's not going to end well, especially with that Lucci, which can just remove like any of this stack right here with your Bonnies, your Namis, your Dans, can remove any of those for free. So you need to be playing like Zoros to go ahead and get the additional rush in as well. And to go along with Zoro as a kind of a combo play as well, we're playing 3 Brook. Brook is something that we were playing at one point but then took out because I preferred the green Zoro, but we're playing Brook now because in this format, as I said, you need to be very, very aggressive. And with Trafalgar Lore, I've actually found myself going second a lot more than going first nowadays, just because obviously we don't want the Sakazuki players to go first, we don't want the Enel players to go first, we don't want a lot of these decks to go first, so, well, to go second, I mean. So we play the Brook, so essentially we can go ahead and play Brook on turn 2, play Zoro or Nami or any other Straw Hat from our hand to get to that free character line so we can go ahead and shambles next turn for free, but also give us more aggression because Brook is a 5k swing, and if you play Brook with Zoro, then you can go ahead and get a swing with the Zoro for 5, you have the Brook for the additional swing next turn, and then you just essentially have a lot more aggression going on the board, but also building up your characters to get to that number 5 on the board to be able to use your leader's ability. So he's a very, very strong card. I only play 3 of him because I think 4 is too much, because obviously in the late game this card is going to be pretty pointless because you're going to have either 5 cards on the board at this point, or you're going to have at least 4 on board after you maybe have blocked or they killed a Bonnie that you didn't want to return to your hand. So it's kind of like the logic of you want to see this card in the early game, but you don't want to play so much of it that you don't want to have it just appearing out of nowhere in the late game and doing absolutely nothing. So he's a very, very strong card. I wish he had Supernova because then it would make the deck a little more consistent. That's why I originally played the 4-cost Zoro over him, because of more consistency is good, but with the ability of so many cards having removal, with the ability of Sakazuki being around, and with us needing more aggression to kind of deal with the Sakazuki matchups and these other matchups that are coming out that just kill our stuff, it really is necessary to play the Brook, and I could consider bringing him up to 4, but I like him at 3 right now. I feel like 3 is the right number, and worst comes to worst, we do just use him as a 1k counter, which is pretty decent. So that's all of like the combo plays when it comes down to like the mid-cost range area of the, well, between 2 and 5. But going on to our 5 costing characters now, we play the 2 Rush Luffy still. Rush Luffy is still a 2 of, in my personal opinion. He's still a very, very strong card in the fact that he can just go ahead and swing through any blocker on the board. So you go ahead and shambles into him, put 2 Don on him, and then swing, and your opponent can't block it. It's very good against Sakazuki. It's very good against literally Purple Luffy. It's good against any deck that plays a load of blockers. So you have to be playing him to be able to kind of like get through their defenses, so you can just kind of end the game at times. Like, honestly, the amount of times where I've just played a Luffy throughout my entire time playing this deck and just going for game, either I played him the previous turn so I could go ahead and swing on the following turn with like a restand law, or I play him on the turn just to go ahead and swing for like with shambles, put 8 on him, and then swing for 14, and they don't have enough counter. It's absolutely insane, and he is a very, very strong card nonetheless, and definitely a mandatory 2 of in this deck. So we played 2 of him, and then next we're playing the 4 Restand Law. I believe I was playing 3 of him last format, but as I said earlier, when it comes to the 4 Zoros, we need much more aggression, and Restand Law obviously applies that aggression. He's searchable via Bonnie. He has the ability to restand any Supernova card, so that can be Blocker Law, that can be Luffy, that can be the free cost Zoro, and he's just very good. And he's also got a counter on him as well, which means that you do have that usability in hand as well, where if you're gonna die, you need the 1k, you can drop him, and being a 6k body as well is just really, really good. So he's got like everything going for him. I did prefer him at 3, but as I said, you need more aggression in this format, so you need to be playing more of him. It just kind of mandatory now in that sense. So we play 4 Trafalgar Law, and then the last actual character we play is 4 Law Blocker. Now, he is the best card in the deck by far. I think everybody who's ever played against Trafalgar Law knows that this card is what will win you the game most of the time. Being able to shambles him out by returning like an Otama, and then playing him, returning a Nami to either play back the Nami or returning the Nami, or to Dan even, to go ahead and play a Zoro on the board. This card is absolutely insane. He saves your Bonnies, he saves your Namis, he saves your Zoro, he gives you the additional swing with the Zoros. Like, he does so much on his own that he's just the most powerful card in the deck, and he is a mandatory 4 of. Like, every game where you don't see this card, you feel like you're playing a losing battle to an extent, just because, well, this card is really what wins you most of your games, and you want to be playing 4 of it just to guarantee that it's always in your hand. So we play 4 of it. It's mandatory 4 of. It's absolutely insane, and it's the best combo piece in the deck, just because you play him, you get to go ahead and return something, and then you get to go ahead and play something slightly bigger. Like, honestly, it feels so good every time playing him, returning a Nami, and playing a Zoro to swing with the Zoro. It's just very, very strong overall. And then that's all of the 5 cost characters that we're playing in the deck. And then the last 2 cards in the deck, because there are 2 left, is we're playing 2 Radical Beam. Now, I originally didn't agree with Radical Beam in the previous formats of like OP04, OP03, because I felt like there was already so much protection in the deck that you didn't really need this card at all. But going forward with the deck and knowing the kind of format that we're in now, there are a lot of characters with 8k power. There's a lot of characters with 7k power. There's a lot of characters that can't be just stopped with a 2k counter, or simply just a block because they removed the blocker. So I've hit that point where I'm like, okay, we need to play something to protect more, and at this point, Radical Beam is that card that we're playing. I tried it at 3, I've tried it at 4, those are too much. You play this card at 2, it's a very, very strong card with a trigger that you're never going to use. You mainly want to have it in your hand majority of the times. Go ahead and drop it. 4k counter, protect like a character Zoro, you want to protect a Law Blocker. Like, that's what I mainly do with this card. I either use it to save myself from death, which can happen obviously, and it has won me games because of that, or we're using it to protect characters that our opponent would attempt to kill, so that we can go ahead and swing with those characters again. Just having the ability to drop a 4k counter is so good at times, where they swing into like a 5k Zoro for like 7k swing, and I'm like, I have like 2 cards in hand, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna swing, I would have to waste all my hand, but I do have this one Don up, so I go ahead and Radical Beam, and then they're like, well, damn, I can't get rid of the Zoro now. They pass turn, and then I just go ahead and swing with the Zoro, get some more aggression in, and then just win the game from that point onwards. Radical Beam is a card that just enables that and makes it a lot more safe to go ahead and go forward, and especially in this era where we have like 9-drop Kaidos being able to kill and swing for 10, where we have like 12 mums, where we have like literally the 10-drop Kaido that can go ahead and swing big. Like, we've got a lot of really big characters in the game now, and we've also got a lot of characters like Borsalino, 7-mum. Like, we've got a lot of different stuff in the game right now, where it's like you have to be playing these cards specifically to protect yourself. So yeah, like, this deck is just really, really strong, and that is the entire deck as well, guys. Like, this deck has one bad matchup in the format, and that bad matchup is literally just Sakazuki. If you don't play against Sakazuki, or you don't see any of those decks, like removal decks, you're gonna have a great time. And literally, its only bad matchup is Sakazuki in the format. It really does hurt. You can still beat the Sakazuki matchup if you do get that aggression, if you do get the ability to swing constantly, but outside of everything else, I feel like this does have a very good win rate against every other deck in the format. Katakuri always has had a good win rate, and now you're just going to go ahead and build it, so get them to 1 life, and then build a board where you can swing those multiple times, getting through your opponent's defenses. Against decks like Purple Luffy, you're going to rush them down, they're taking their life, so it makes your life easier. Yes, they have blockers, but you have stuff like the 5-cost Luffy that allows you to get through that. So there's just so many different things in this deck, and it has so many good matchups against so many different decks in the game that it's still a really, really strong deck. It just has that one really bad matchup that really just does make it so you can't play it as consistently as you would like. But nonetheless, guys, this is my current list in the OP05 format. It does have ways to beat Sakazuki. You've got to play more carefully at times, and you got to play more aggressive with the Zoros and also the law to go ahead and the restand and everything along those lines. Just get your opponent's life to 0 as quickly as possible. But it's just a really fun deck nonetheless. And if you're wondering what I beat with this deck, I beat Whitebeard round 1, round 2 we played against Katakuri and we beat that, and then round 3 we played a Purple Luffy, and in the finals we played another Purple Luffy. All of the matches are on the channel, so go ahead and check those out if you want to see how the games went. There were some pretty close ones where it was just a lot of fun to play. And yeah, guys, I hope you did enjoy. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more One Piece content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Absolute Duelist signing out. Later all.